Morning, 6:57, icy as hell, feels not so bad, but it's time to do some sprints. Spent last 30 to 40 minutes warming up, and we're ready to go. I should be done with sprints probably in about 10 to 15 minutes, maybe a bit longer, and then after that, all being well, I'll get some more plyometrics done, or jumps, whatever you want to call them. So again, I can't film sprints because I've got no tripod, and to be honest, you wouldn't see a lot. So see you shortly. Second lot, right, sprint's done. Slightly longer in duration. I'm also covering more at field. Trick is, I'm gonna have to find somewhere else soon to sprint on, because I haven't got enough field left to do it all safely. Knackered. I was going to do some jumping, but no, it's going to be too much. As I said, I've done a little bit more today than I did last time, so what I'm going to do is see if I can fit those in later on today, if I can clear all ice off path. It's been a good year. I know we're about 2.5 weeks from Christmas. So far this year I've done coal race, got 18th in that with a calf injury, so I really want running my best, or a long way off. Then I did a 5-day trip around Scotland, lifting various manhood testing stones. That were an eye-opening experience. I thought I was a little bit stronger than I actually was, and looking at it, I possibly could have overtrained, and also I'm not heavy enough body weight wise to counterbalance stones themselves. I mean, when you're weighing between 140 and 147 pound, and you're trying to pick up a piece of granite that's anything from 180 to 330 pound, you're at a slight disadvantage. So some thought's going to have to go into that to see whether or not I can put 7 to 14 pound on next year, and whether or not it's not going to affect anything else I want to do. About 4 weeks ago, I did my first 10k race. Did that in just under 46 minutes, and I'd only 3 weeks training for that at that distance, which came out at 6 runs, so I'm pleased with that. Which then gives me a bit of a quandary. Where do I go next year? Now, me being me, being rather OCD, wants to do anything and everything. I'd like to do another 10k race. On top of that, I really would like to do an half marathon, or possibly even a marathon. The extreme in me then wants to do an ultra marathon, just to see what it's like. But on the other side, I still want to do all my heavy lifting. I still want to go back up to Scotland and try and pick up all the stones that I didn't lift this time. So I've got quite a few decisions to make. on where I want to go and what I want to do. But at one end of the scale it would be quite fun doing the stones and then seeing whether or not Sunday of those strength capabilities could go to the other end of the extreme and do a marathon or even an ultra marathon, which I think they're 50 miles. I could be wrong. I'll have to double check on that. But there's a big difference in training. I mean, even training for a bog standard half marathon, you're looking at working between 90 and 120 plus minutes of regular jogging, running, whatever you want to call it. So some thought's going to have to go into all that over the next few weeks. It's going to be interesting, and I'm quite sure there's quite a few people out there that are going to start bollocking me, telling me I'm going too far and I'm trying to do too many things. At you, Paul. This morning I used the last of my Jack3d samples. Now, we've been having a bit of a discussion on the forum about stuff like this, about the new wave of pre-workout supplements that companies are turning out, and I've been turning out probably for the last 5 or 6 years. Initially I had, I think it were 5 samples, and doses have ranged anything from half a scoop to this morning's 1 3/4 scoops, which was the last bit that I had in the little sachets. Started off pretty good with the first 2 to 3 half a scoop and 1 scoop servings. Good sense of energy, focus, and drive, with none of the usual jitters or the muscles over pumping that you normally get with a lot of these products, especially once you start putting creatine in. I'll be perfectly honest with you, I am not a fan of creatine before training, even more so with these supplements. Now, one of the biggest drawbacks I found with Jack3d was the extreme thirst, and I mean extreme thirst. For me, it's been ridiculous. A scoop serving has sort of left me consuming between 1.5 to 2 litres of fluid in a workout. That's not so bad in one sense if you're lifting weights. If you're jogging, you can't do it because you're not carrying that much fluid with you. Sprinting, you don't want to be dehydrated, not in the slightest. Sometimes you can get away with a slight bit of thirst lifting weights, but really that's not a good idea neither. So having this extreme thirst, the only thing I can put it down to is the creatine, and that's not good. And you cannot sprint when you've got that much fluid wanting to slosh about in your stomach. Back to today, yeah, we took the last serving, and to be quite frank, I've had altogether I think I've had 9, maybe 10 doses of this stuff now, and 1 3/4 doses I've had nothing, naff all out of it this morning. I'd have been better off with a double shot espresso. So what I've done today is mostly been on my own back that I can feel of. Mentally and physically I felt nothing with it. And one of the main topics or concerns with it is the high rate of tolerance that a number of people are getting with these new breeds of supplements. Whether it's just me or just a handful, I'm yet to find out. I'm going to have to do a little bit more research. I would like to know what's in these things to a greater degree, and what doses are in. But as with all things, everything comes under this new moniker of proprietary blend. Oh, we don't want to give you away our secret formula to our competitors. Basically, after nearly 30 years in this flipping game, they're talking out of their arseholes. They don't want to tell you because they don't want you to know exactly what's in and whether or not it's all a flipping con job. Now, before we start, I'm not saying that the sample I've taken this morning is a con job, because I did feel something initially, and I kept feeling something up to about the first half a dozen doses, even though it were tapering down. But I think it's rather naive of these companies, and there's a lot of companies out there that do put these things under proprietary blends. People want to know what's in them, especially when you get an ingredients list that as long as your arm. The consumer, whether they be the average flipping workout warrior or to somebody that's more professional, doesn't want to be spending hours upon hours having to research every single item that's in there to make sure that there's no conflicting ingredients in there that they can't take. And if a lot of people, when they've been in this game for quite a long time, me included, know roughly what doses you can take certain products and supplements without getting any adverse effects. You can't have this information, and if they're not going to give you the full ingredients, I think it's a cop-out. Anyway, I'll do a little bit more research into things like this because there's some of the stuff that I want to do. I mean, obviously, if I'm going to do a marathon, then I'm going to have to look into products that are going to give a really long, sustainable amount of energy, and possibly some with focusing. So there you have it. Another day, another dollar. Right then, that's me done. Maybe I'll see you later on this afternoon if I manage to get the garden path cleared and it's safe to do what I want to do. If not, till next time, have fun.